if you've worked on yourself and you've grown that space, you can be aware of the influence. Like, oh, I see what that is. Okay. And you get to choose every single microsecond your response, your perception, what you were really talking about earlier. Like, you get to decide. But most people in our culture, unfortunately, we're not taught these things. And I know that because I was that. I just thought I was my thoughts my entire life until there was a break that took place. I was just existing. I was operating on automatic. If something happens, I'm reactive to all things in my environment. I didn't have a concept of I get to decide how I want to feel. I get to choose how I want to feel. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. And so most people are living their existence like that. And we're indoctrinated from a very early age in our culture, unfortunately, to outsource our thinking and to outsource our feeling to the world around us. So yeah. And as far as the immune system, hormones, all that stuff, if we break down what a hormone is, it really is, it's like a chemical messenger that is sending metabolic DMs from cell to cell. All right, so like little metabolic text messages or emails. And what we want the email, we want to have a good email service where the message is getting wherever it's supposed to go accurately, and it's not getting whitelisted, it's getting whitelisted, it's not going to spam. If we want this certain hormonal communication to go accurately. We also want to make sure we don't have a mistake. We're sending out, like, we got a big email to send out and the headline's fucked up.
Yeah.
You're trying to send out a message to, be peaceful and healthy. And instead, it says, be peaceful and stealthy. And so now you're just like being a fucking ninja and snooping around on people and trying to, hide out and scare folks or whatever, like it's going to instruct your cells on what they should be doing. This is kind of like the Paul Revere type vibe of informing all your cells on what they need to do. There's something going on in the world. This is how we need to respond or act in this condition. And so if we have a perception where we are victimized, where we feel like we're a victim or at the mercy of what's happening in the world around us, the hormone we get to choose the hormones we're producing as well, to a massive magnitude. And so this gets back to feeling how you want to feel, choosing how you want to feel. And so if I'm having a detracting, disempowering feeling state or thought about what's happening in the world and myself, it's that chemistry is getting communicated to this is the point I want everybody to understand. Every cell in your body, not just your heart that might be fluttering or your muscles that might be tensing up or whatever. Literally from your fucking toenail to your super chiasmatic nucleus. Like everything in your body is getting affected by every thought you think. Every thought you think has correlating chemistry in your body. Now, this is beautiful, but also can be terrifying because just like, well, I want to think the right stuff all the time. It's not about that. It's about growing yourself, working on yourself, that inner space to where it's just on automatic. So you can more ebb and flow with the stuff that happens in the world. And also, I'm so grateful for this. And I've been highlighting these folks for quite some time, like the work of Susan David, Dr. Susan David, to really clarify that our emotions, none of them are bad. Like if you're depressed, if you're angry, if you're hurt, whatever the case might be, our problem in our culture is that we run from these things. We don't listen to the message it's trying to share with us. Our body is it's beyond intelligent. Our brains are beyond intelligent, beyond anything we can understand. And so now our feelings have become conditions, diagnosable conditions. And there's a drug for each of them, well, not yet, but they're working on it. And so really being able to understand that whatever the feeling is, what is this message trying to teach me? Or what is this, I don't want to leave this out, by the way. So I mentioned hormones. Neurotransmitters are very similar, but they're operating with the nervous system. Okay, so neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, Our hormones are operating with our endocrine system, so our hormonal system, the hormone related glands and cells. And so very similar as far as their communication aspect. But, last point here, just to summarize everything, our emotions are incredibly valuable feedback. Number one, they will happen. They will happen automatically in response. It's kind of like the wind blowing right now. We can't do shit about that. It's happening. Like, now we can harness the wind though, if we wanted to. We could jump on and or we can go and kite surf in that shit. Like, we can use it to our advantage and find the joy in it. Or we can just we can let it knock us down and we can stay there, and that's okay. Both are okay, right? So number one, it's just gonna happen. Number two, you have complete authority to decide the feeling as well. Complete authority. And I'm not talking about lying to yourself either. We have the capacity to change our state, to change the way that we feel, because every thought we have changes our chemistry. And so now it's being able to, again, today is about marriage for some reason, being able to marry these two things together so there's a good balance where you're not so forcing yourself to feel a certain way all the time, which is not human necessarily. And you're not at the mercy of the environment around you and all the stuff going on in the world, where you can still be in the world and feel the feelings, get that feedback, but you still maintain your sovereignty.